I'm going to take this off. I'm not even going to pretend that I'm going to behave myself. I'm going to get comfortable. Oh my gosh. Whew. Giving honor to God. There's a philosopher. His name is Meek Mill. I was so inspired by the introduction to Dreams and Nightmares, the best introduction in any rap album in history, is not up for debate, that I altered the lyrics a little bit to set the mood right. And it's good to be in New Jersey, because I'm from the Epsilon chapter at Temple University originally. People often think I'm from Philadelphia. I said, I'm from Montclair, New Jersey. All right. I'm a Jersey boy. So I'm home right now. That's why I got loose. I said, I'm in my house. But I said, is you ready? I used to pray to speak like this to peeps like this. Coretta and Martin, queens and kings like this. In the back of a paddy wagon, cuffs was on my wrist, but thinking, man, our ancestors had it worse than this. Now when our dreams take hold, nightmares are through. It's time to marry your destiny. Now say I do. As far as freedom, you gotta see it with a clear eye view, so the ancestors can bless you like you said, not you. But you gotta read. Let that breathe. For they come for me, I'm getting deep. I never let no fear get in between intended targets. Literally, finish what you started. They love us deaf, dumb, and blind. They hate it when we get smarter. I went and got it regardless. Vision it like an artist. When the struggle gets harder, remember that you're the hardest. Be a god or a goddess with people over your prophets. Pay no mind to them cowards. I tell my haters, I got this. See, I know that my mind is power. And I'm speaking to take y'all higher. Like in temple, we bring that fire. So I keep it real so the chosen could be inspired. When you got your mind right, then they ain't increased. They blaming it on sagging pants and copping beats. So I murder beats from the streets to the barbershop. Fans be like, oh, head, your bars are hot. You gotta pop. If you ain't talking about uplifting, what you talking about? Real gangsters move in silence. You see some talk a lot. I'ma use my words, and I'ma use the word on my ground until we get what we deserve. Now get up. Hold on, wait a minute. They thought we was finished. They took away the money for our school to build their prisons. Flexing on my haters just like how my way is spinning. Double Olivia, I'm a G. I make a movement, making millions. Taking up and bombing the doctors out the quotes. Melissa Harris Perry, some Ta-Nehisi Coates, some Mark Lamont Hill for y'all young minds to glow. And some names y'all ain't recognize on the Google that when you go. Because it's more than about bill money or just keeping it real. Those who brought this truth before me been killed. They caught around and put them down. They get the ground no joke. Come to make this clear for y'all, no mirrors and no smoke. All I know is learning. When it comes to me, I got books on Afrocentrics, I got books on Dr. King, got my BA 3 MAs about to have 2 PhDs, and every time I give a lecture, I'll be turning up the hit. Bye, let's go. This is the first Greek event that my son has ever been to. Stand up, son. Let me embarrass you. Let me see how you stand. This is first event, so I'm very evil. Could have been anywhere in the world tonight, couldn't it be? He had to come with me. I said, this is amazing. For the young people, college and education is my life, so I'm really pleased to be able to give this type of short address. But everybody is so important in here that I want to make sure that y'all remember me, when you get to your father's house. Even the DJ's the president. They were like, the DJ's also the president. I said, oh, Lord, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Okay. Back to business. Bigger, better business. The first thing I would share to the recipients is the message that you should always remember your ancestral mandate. Your ancestral mandate. Keep the letters, A.M., right? So every morning when I wake up, I think things to myself like, Harriet Tubman never hit a snooze button. Ooh, let that marinate. Harriet Tubman never hit. So the next time you have them two voices in your head and you wake up in the morning about what you should do and then what you know you should do, you just think about your ancestral mandate and how they persevered, were able to be optimistic and keep on going in spite of all the diversity and adversity. Like you gotta think like that. Because there's gonna be some days where that voice is in your mind and the voice will sound a lot like you. And the voice will all the right things to say to get you to be less than your best, right? But I always remember my ancestral mandate. There was a song that they used to sing. It said, before I be a slave, oh, look at y'all so smart. See, I'm in the right company today. I'm a teacher, so usually I gotta do more work. I'll be buried. But one thing I thought of recently that I didn't think of previously, they were singing this on plantations while in bondage. Let that sink in. Before I be a slave, being hung while you're being whipped and shamed and considered property. Your circumstances aren't your identity. Just because somebody says something about you doesn't make that who you are. You're talking about being in the midst of the worst human condition, the only people in the history of humankind to be considered other than human. And they'll try to say, oh, slavery was everywhere. Not like this. There was never a time in human history where people were considered other than people. And in the midst of that, they said, this ain't who I am. I'll be dead before I'm what you think I am. But without that kind of self-reassurance, you wouldn't have the wherewithal to have your grandmother born in bondage, your mother born in bondage, you born in bondage, expecting your young daughters and your sons to be abused before they reach the age of maturity, and still believe somehow, some way, somewhere, someday, that there'll be a room like this of free people, of educated people in the time we would, be good for reason. They believe that somewhere, some way, somehow, someday, we were going to be free, but they had to free their mind first, even in the midst of that hell they were living in. That's right. Remember your ancestral mandate, young people. And when you get on campus and they want to make you think that college is a fashion show, they want to make you think that college is OnlyFans, or college is a nightclub, or college is what's that one, Hinge, Christian Mingle, I don't know what. That's not what college is. It's a magical place where you can enter into a space and become anything that you want to be. Most people don't realize the relationship between what they perceive in their mind and internal conversation and the world around them that they create for themselves. And if you can get that lesson that you are creating your universe by the thoughts that you have in your mind. Once you recognize that your thoughts are that powerful, there's certain things you'll never think again. There's certain things you'll never say again. There's certain ways you'll describe your brothers and sisters in the past that you might never utter again, because you realize how powerful your words are. That they have physical, spiritual power. So when you wake up in the morning, some people do this. Snuffleupagus, right? Or Sesame Street. Remember that? Y'all old enough, right? Y'all know. I see you got the grade, right? Every time Big Bird would be all happy and say, hey, Snuffleupagus. I think Big Bird was on something, but I'm not going to leave that alone. He was a little too excited. Early in the morning, right? He was all shaking and stuff with his fellas. But he would say, how you doing, Snuffleupagus? And what does Snuffleupagus do every time? Oh, Big Bird, I'm just trying my best. That's how some of my students come to class. And I say, you need to understand a word called countenance. The way that your face is, your aura, your energy, your presence, right? People can read that. Your communication is mostly nonverbal. So when you walk into a room with a low energy and a low vibration and a low frequency and a low expectation, right? I say, how are you representing your ancestors? How are you representing your parents? You know what they used to say in the South? They would tell the young people, don't go down to that school and you come back stupid. That's right. Let me do that one again. Because the mother had raised 8, 9, 11 children. But somehow, some way, some of these young people would go to school and hear about Shakespeare for an hour and Karl Marx and think they knew more than the people that were able to raise a family of 15. So don't go to that school and come back stupid. Did I make it plain enough? I know I gotta, as an ordained deacon, I know I had to preach in the house. I'll make sure that I said it the right way. You have to recognize the power of a decision. I'll give you an example. It took me 10 years to get my 4-year degree. Yes, my parents did. He still in school. I don't know what that was. One time I got kicked out, and my mom called. She said, how is school? And I said, school is great. She didn't ask if I was in it. She didn't think it was funny. Okay, back to my story. But the key was that when I arrived on campus, I made a decision to graduate. It's powerful now. I had made a decision before I even started that I was going to finish this. It might look ugly. It might take a long time, but I realized the power of my decision, because there's some people who was only gone for a semester and never finished. The least bit of adversity, they was turning back around. They used to say, ain't going to let nobody turn me around. So it might take, it's not going to go like this. Let's just be clear. You're going to go to college. go back to start. You might be turned around. You might have an obstacle. You might wonder how you're going to pay for it. Just expect it and enjoy the journey. But make sure you have in your mind that you're going to finish. That's the most important part. I'm going to finish this. So people start talking, and how long it takes? As long as it takes. Because you know how funny it is when the same people who was talking come back to campus and I'm teaching their children now. Light flex. They say, what you doing here? I say, I've been here, I stay here, I'm always here. Like the tortoise in the hare, right? I say, don't let them haters fool you. Let them haters fuel you. I don't want you to miss that. Don't let your haters fool you. Let them haters fuel you. When they start talking, be a battery. Y'all know how a battery works, right? A battery takes positive and a battery takes negative energy and uses it to stay charged up. So when they hate it, I'll be like, I'm gonna keep hating. Tell me something I can't do and I'm gonna do that. And when you tell me I did a good job, oh did I, I'm gonna use that too. Be a bat. Whatever energy comes your way, have the ability to convert it into something to propel you towards your dream and your destiny and your goals. Because when you get like that, you're dangerous. No matter what they do or what they say, I have made a decision, I have a vision, and I'm going to get it done. And all you want to do is be a part of my story at the end of it when I get there.
That's all right. That's all right.
I don't know if I should say this part.
Say it anyway. Go ahead. You out there. Cover Sunday. That's all right.
Where my young people at? I'm going to talk directly to my young people. Okay. That's my gray hair. Peter in the hand. Look at this. Young at heart. I love it. Okay. I couldn't get the hand though. I said, come on down. Shout out to my ARPs. Love y'all too. It's your college experience, not your parents. Somebody had to say it, right? Somebody had to say it, right? I got brothers, I don't need friends. I'm going to say it one more time. It's your college experience, not your parents. Now, if your parents are paying, we gotta, that's why they have majors and minors, and double majors. But don't forsake your passion. Don't get cut off. Professor said, well, tell professor to pay your tuition. Don't do that. I'm gonna say no. But make sure that you keep your, I mean, so many students say, I used to dance. I said, used to like, wait. You're only like 20 years old. You used to dance. So there's something that you love, something that makes you feel more alive than anything else, and you don't do it no more? Because you want some money? I said, no, we got to recalibrate. I met a whole lot of people with a whole lot of degrees and a whole lot of zeros and a whole lot of happy hours with a whole lot of depression and a whole lot of anxiety and a whole lot of toxic relationships, right? I said, before you wake up, thank you. Hello, somebody who lives in real life, right? Other people act like it wasn't them. They're like, oh, I don't know nothing about that. I'm happy now. What's that about? No, so I want to make sure that the young people understand, although people poured into you and you stand on the shoulders of giants and you owe a debt of gratitude and all that, all you really owe those people is for you to succeed. Represent them well and succeed, but please don't feel pressure, because sometimes the parents aren't even pressuring the students just feel obligated to become everything that the mom couldn't be. You know, they just want to live in the shadow of what the dad was trying to do. And I say, now, they're not going to be happy with that because they want their child to be happy eventually. Maybe not at first. But sincerely, it's important for you to remember this is your life. And when you're having these discussions, even, should I say this? Even about where to go to school. Now, as far as joining the Greek organization, I'm going to leave that alone, because if you don't know Blue, White, the Only Way, then I know there's a doctor in the building, a psychiatrist or something to help you out with that. But I'm just talking. Okay. Everybody makes mistakes. That's what I tell my son. That's what I tell him. If you come home any other way, I just say, oh, Lord Jesus. I must have did something in my past. But I want to make sure that you understand this. People say that you grow up when you're able to do things that you don't want to do effectively and when you stop caring what your friends think. Most of the things that I really achieved, I had to go a different way. When I was interested in the organization, it wasn't like my roommates and everybody who was a freshman on the floor was like, us too! Like, it wasn't like the Smurfs. Like, no, Blue and White, I know. They was like, like, you sure? And I said, let me get up out of here. Soon as I heard some negativity, some doubt, some weakness, I'm like pinball, I'm going the other way. Have no time for it. There's a lot of people that will try to gaslight you, guilt trip you, they'll try to use even a relationship and a romantic connection. People will try to make you less than what you dream yourself to be. And you gotta know, sometimes people don't even know they're doing it, and sometimes they mean well. Sometimes well-meaning friends and family will be the main people that are so concerned that you're going to have to fail forward in order to achieve, that you're going to get hurt along the way. They'll be the main ones telling you not to try. Amen. I called my mom and said, I joined. You know what mom said? My mom said, you ain't pledging nothing. I said, it's too late. That's why I ain't telling you tonight. I knew she was going to say, no. I called her for the congratulations, not for this person. But I understood where that was coming from, y'all. And he said, I'm a little boy. She don't want to think about me, you know, staying up late studying. But it's important to recognize this because as a young person going to college, you're reaching that crossroads. You're reaching this transition period where normally 95% of what your parents were saying, you better obey it and listen to it. It's going to be the best thing for you. But the older you get, gradually, if it works right, some of y'all are like, I still can't do nothing without this saying that. But if it works the right way, gradually you get more agency, more independence, right? And gradually you start to recognize that some of the things that they're telling you is not because they don't love you, it's because they do love you. But in order for you to get out that nest and learn to fly, you got to go ahead out there and fail forward. They say make sure you fall on your back. Les Brown, you look up, you can get up, right? Don't be afraid to fail. Everything great I tried, there was somebody right next to me talking about, you're doing too much. You always trying something. You're so extra. I'm going to get extra away from you. Seriously. But these are people who don't want you to leave them. You got to know where this is coming from, y'all. Because you might be like, you sure? You think so? Because sometimes they have no relationships. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do that. Some people just want their best friend for the rest of their life. Don't want you to marry nobody. Don't want you to have no happiness. They want you to keep on going to parties with them. I said, we're 35. But make sure that the person that you were raised to be is the person that you take to college with you. I can't tell you how many times I met people that was in the choir but want to go to college and not be in it. I said, why are you hiding from the church girl you with? And you stand out anyway. Everybody can tell. You look like an old preacher's kid trying to front like you grew up different, You're trying to, you got the world wearing like a costume, but you don't fit it. You don't fit it. You're an alto. Go ahead over there. Come on. But seriously, the person that you are, there's opportunities to recreate yourself in positive ways. There's things you should leave behind. There's levels that you won't be able to get to the person that you are right now. So you don't have to die daily in certain ways and destroy and cut off certain aspects of your personality. Because that small, localized version of yourself is not what's going to have the international impact that we know you're destined for. But at the same time, there's some good parts. And some people have been raised up in a way that when they get older, they shouldn't depart from and don't move that father's landmark. There's some things that you know is right that you need to take with you. Because when you get in a whole group of people that want to do the wrong thing, there's a sign in Proverbs that talks about that, right? Waiting privily to shed blood. For my hip-hop fans, Slick Rick, children's story, said, me and you, son, we're going to make some cash robbing old folks and making a dash, right? So there's always going to be somebody that says, come on with me and do something wrong. And sometimes those choruses could be so loud. And you looking around like, don't nobody want to do the right thing? And it's even worse when they're sitting right next to you on a bed, it's just you and them, and it's like 2 a.m, and they whispering to you, but they don't have to whisper to you because there's only 2 people in the room, but they're like, yeah, I'm saying dog, saying dog. You'll get that one later. Why are you whispering? It's just y'all 2 in the room, right? That should already tell you something wrong. Ladies, if somebody whispering to you, and you're the only 2 people in the room, lean back and say, what you whispering for? It's just us, we right here. But they said that the devil's goal is to make something that's unseemly seem seemly. If I could just make you think this is okay for 10, 15 minutes, then maybe I don't got to worry about the next 9 months or 18 years. I'm not going to be the one that got to drop out of school anyway. Oh, let me stop. Getting too real too fast. Here that goes again. God help me. But I'll end it this way. Because I did say that blue and white is the only way. And I want you to embrace your college experience and enjoy the journey. And don't be afraid to be intelligent. I had some people close to me that they responded to intellectuals, and it hurt my heart. I had a brother that was real close to me that I didn't even know he was there on an academic scholarship. And you would have thought that when the news came out about it, that we had, tried to attack his parents. He had his head down and all that. Like, I don't tell nobody that. And I'm like, bro, that's amazing. He's like a math major. Brilliant. You got a scholarship. If they didn't get one, oh well. Right? Don't hide it. Don't know. When you go to decorate your room, you put up all the things that remind you of who you are and who you're supposed to be. That way when people start telling you other than who you are, you can have all those reminders around you. Those family members that told you was going to make it, those are the pictures you need. Not that prom picture, the person you're going to break up with anyway, right? What you doing? I'm trying my best to keep it together. That's how we knew they was freshmen. You saw that prom picture. Give it a year. Okay. Y'all laugh a little too loud. I know it's a signal. Probably is a signal. Okay. All right. But I'll end it this way. Because I see where I'm going. I feel myself, going too far. But for the young people, you might find yourself approaching the yard and having a decision to make. And I talked about decisions. And I had a decision to make at one point, and I wrote this piece based on that need to make a decision, and it goes like this. I came on the yard, a little unsure of what it really meant to go green. See, there were so many colors, sisters and brothers, I wondered what was right for me. Through financial pressure and dorm room pleasure, I got nothing less than a 3. But something was missing, went on a mission to release the fire inside of me. I cried, mama, mama, oh mama, mama, how I long to be free. I said, mama, mama, oh mama, mama, release the fire inside of me. In my spring semester, when I took a stand, I'm still feeling warm from the heat of the sand. Mama said, if you don't pledge, I understand. I looked up slow, had my sleeve in my hand. As I lift up my shirt, I showed her my brand. She said, oh, thank the Lord, my son's a Sigma man. I said,